we're going to be doing a lot of reviews today. All right. So we got a lot of reviews to go over. I'm going to be pulling random questions for this, and we're going to be starting with Jonathan. Jonathan, are you ready to talk about Andor?
Heck yes.
Oh.
Okay. So we're going to start off with you giving your immediate reaction for Andor. Keep it under 2 minutes, and then we're going to ask you random questions off of a list of questions, and then we'll go from there. Sound good to you?
Yeah.
All right, go for it. Give us your 2 minute question, your 2 minute rundown.
So obviously I loved Andor. Episode 2 is a little bit slow, but I'm gonna kind of go over a broad spectrum of what happened in the last 3 episodes. So they started with Cassian stealing an experimental ship from the Empire, right? It's a experimental TIE fighter, and he doesn't know how to control it, which is kind of awesome because we see him like fumbling around. He's like the best, pilot in the Rebel Alliance, at least. But then we see that he's has no idea what he's doing. So that was kind of fun. He plans to meet up with some allies on a planet to hand off the ship, but he gets ransacked by this small ragtag group of rebels that are fighting amongst themselves. So that was where it was kind of slow, was that whole process of him being stuck on this planet. But still, it was just longer than it needed to be, I think. But there was a lot of other stuff being built in the background of that episode in comparison that I think was well done. But then we see Mon Mothma's playing politics. She's, in the big and heavy swings of politics, which is, her having to make this deal for her daughter, pretty much selling off her daughter to be able to fund the Rebel Alliance, and not even doing it with control in the situation, but kind of being extorted or blackmailed in the situation. So she doesn't have a grasp or firm grip on what she's doing, which is scary in her situation. Yeah. But the wedding looks really cool and it's done well in the Star Wars universe and everything. So
you have about 30 seconds left.
Okay. And then one of the best situations, it was it sad how much it compares to reality right now. But this immigration group, pretty much from the Empire, is going around hunting rebels, essentially. And so they're trying to find Bix and the rest of the group that's hiding out on this planet, and they're just being mechanics and trying to secretly kind of get the Rebel Alliance going, and working. But they are coming in. You're over your
2 minutes, by the way, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah. They're I don't know how to put these words together. Terrible at doing things fast, or at all. But so yeah, they're trying to hide out, and they know that these guys are going to come through, and they need to not get caught and everything.
Yeah, shuffle people around.
And these guys are trying to the one guy that keeps coming around talking to Bix eventually tries to rape her. Luckily, she's able to fight him off, and then the rest of the soldiers come to help him, support him, whatever. And perfect timing that Cassian rolls in with his new ship that with this time, finally, he's been able to figure out how to control it for the most part. So he comes in, guns a-blazing, and kicks ass.
Oh, yeah, he does. I loved it as well. It's good stuff. Let's get a grade on those first 3 episodes out of you, Jonathan.
I'd give it a maybe A-. The second episode was a little slow, but when you look back at it, at the story and the plot building and stuff like that, it's like it was a little slow from Cassian's story because it needed to be. But you see the comparison it's drawing. It's the higher ups and the rich, the Empire versus the Rebel Alliance and where they're at. And it's like these people are literally killing each other because they're starving and they have nothing. And yet these rich people are sipping their tea and eating their snacks or whatever, and talking about how are we going to, what kind of propaganda are we going to use to be able to enslave this planet and take their resources? And it's like, damn, that's so corrupt and so messed up. And it's, from such a opposite ends of the spectrum. So that episode seemed kind of slow. And we had,
it was really a bridge episode because they release them in 3s. They're meant to be consumed in 3s. There's a time jump in between each 3 episodes. Yeah. So by itself, it doesn't hold much water, but it is needed for the first in the last episode of the 3. Yeah. So I think that's a big part of it. By the way, guys, we do full breakdowns every week for this over on Challenge, except if you guys want to, I'm wearing the shirt, I'm wearing the hat. I mean, so if you guys want to hear like a full discussion on each of these, go for it. What I'm going to do is I got the random number generator and random questions. I'm going to pop 5 of them for you, Jonathan, to help you with this review. Okay. Yeah. So here we go. We're generating a random number 11, which performance felt the most authentic or believable to you?
Probably Mon Mothma. You see a lot of her.
I love her.
Yeah, you see a lot of her just kind of like struggling to keep it together. Behind her face, you could tell that she's like overwhelmed with stress and anxiety. And eventually in the party, she's realized like, wait, I need to be one of these people right now. I need to blend in with this crowd because otherwise it's obvious that I have some ulterior motives. So she starts to dance and try to be a part of the party. But yeah, obviously she has a lot of weight on her shoulders at this whole Rebel Alliance. She's trying to fund in the background, and like her sister is on the front lines a lot of times. Mm-hmm. And so it's just a small conversation between her and an investor can make or break hundreds or thousands of people's lives and the survival of the galaxy. So it's crazy.
Her and Luthen, every time those two talk, it's just the dialogue in the show is bar none in Star Wars, in my opinion. But her and Luthen talking, like just two different ways of approaching the Rebel Alliance, I think is very interesting. Squeaks, I got a question for you. Who is your favorite character? Because to me, my favorite character is Mon Mothma, and I didn't think it would happen that way. Who's your favorite character of the Cassian show? Andor?
Let me get her name real quick. It is let's see, Deborah Mirror. I'm saying it right.
What character is that?
She's basically she's the female that's in that Empire. The blonde hair. The blonde hair.
I can't stand. Not that I can't stand watching her. She makes me so uncomfortable.
So that's what. So I think what really got me was the first episode of when she's in that. They're all like talk about taking the resources and stuff like that. And the what's his name? The head guy in charge goes up to her and be like, "Hey, stop fucking around with me. I picked you for a reason. Like I know you have another idea to take over these resources in this planet." And then she just says it straight up and walks away. And I'm like, "Damn, that's cool. I'm an Empire fan." So I always will stand by them. But on top of that is, it was kind of like just like boss like no, okay, yes, you're right. I do have the answer, and here it is. And then she walks away. So
and the
I
way that,
like that.
Her name's Deidre, by the way, and the way that she shuts down Cyril's mom too in this 3 episodes is kind of cool. That was dope.
And then you start seeing like her and Cyril are so much alike, except for the issues that he has with his mom. But outside of that, their work and even personalities are so similar. It
dawned on me. It's Dwight Schrute and Angela from The Office.
Yeah, exactly. Just got to get them
all
on.
All right, next for you, Jonathan. Did the visuals and cinematography add anything special that you think was like, ooh, fine choice?
I think they did a good job at making that new experimental ship like a level above, even though we know it's
regular TIE fighter.
It's generations before the technology we see in the I guess older movies, but it's in the timeline. But yeah, it looks really crisp and clean, and then just the polish of how they designed it for the show looks good.
Yeah. I really like that scene where he's going to come up on the guys that are traveling, and he like kind of hides the ship or behind the towers and then just like slides it across and then starts shooting at him. Just like the juxtaposition of the futuristic ship and the wheat fields, the way they bounce off each other was really cool cinematography. I think that was kind of showing like the oppressive Empire and just like good old farm life and how the two are bouncing off each other.
Yeah, just having them working in wheat fields in general as like a mechanism and how they made the show made it look really cool. And how like you're saying they're comparing this even in the situation where they're showing the people in charge or whatever negotiating how they're going to take over this planet and comparing it to people just trying to survive day to day on this planet. Yeah. And that's very like, down to earth to the ground level.
Number 17, how would you rate the villains of this series?
Villains. Well, like you see with the two that we were just talking about, the young
Deidre
couple, I guess.
Cyril.
Yeah. They're obviously villains, but there's like a 10% you kind of are rooting for them because they're underdogs of the villains.
Yeah.
They're bad people.
I think we kind of live their lives, right? Like when you get stuck in corporate culture and you're just trying to climb the ladder at work, you're just doing your job. Yeah. And so you kind of see like, son of a bitch, would I be in the Empire? I know Squeaks would be.
Oh,
Emperor, here's my tattoo. Get me in.
Yeah. And to some degree, I think we want to see a Darth Vader built up and then taken back down. Like we want to see somebody grow through the ranks and earn, because Cyril's been dismissed recently, and so his interest in what's better for the Empire and the Empire's interests, is not getting recognized, and so we want to see him grow and both of them to a seat of power, and then it's like, okay, now the rebels got to knock down this evil that has gotten strong enough. But also the head guy that's running that meeting. I can't remember his name. I remember he's the bad guy on Ready Player One too.
Yeah.
But they do a good job with him. Where I don't know in their political world how their uniforms work, but him wearing that little cape and everything is so sinister and evil.
Governor. I think it's God, I can't remember his name, but yeah, he's on Rogue One. He's the bad guy in Rogue One as well.
Yeah,
which was what we're leading to.
But he's just dominating enough to be. Like he's no Darth Vader. Like he's not.
Yeah.
He doesn't really control the room like a bigger villain does. He has a little bit of that annoying kind of arrogance, jerk kind of quality to him. So I think they could do a good job of he's like upper middle management, but he's still not the head honcho.
Is Squeaks find the name? I know he's Googling something right now.
Yeah, but it's just...
And he's muted, so he's not even talking to us.
Yeah, it's coming up with a bunch of names. It's so weird that I can't just like hit IMDb and it's just not populating. Yeah.
White cape dude. All right, let's just do 4 questions. And then so you got number 19, which is a really good one for this. Would you recommend this show to anybody else?
Oh, absolutely. I would.
Of course.
I'd say watch season 1. I don't think you need to watch Rogue One or anything else Star Wars really to like this show, but it doesn't hurt to, have an understanding of what the rebels are that you're building towards and stuff.
I gave it a 9 out of 10 myself, the first 3 episodes. And I think if they continue to have them batched, like they're going to be releasing them in batches of 3 every time, which is 3 hours every Tuesday night. It's so much to watch.
Yeah.
Good.